Maniacs, this should be pretty interesting. We're going to be watching real news footage. I'm not sure when this took place. I'm not sure if it was after or before. Obviously, I think it's after he was caught. So we're going to go ahead and dive into this. If you want to see more content like this, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for the new channel, share the content, and if you are really into this Gacy stuff, then check out my Patreon page because I have all of the John Wayne Gacy tape reactions up on there. So let's go ahead and dive into this, and I'll give you guys my thoughts and my opinions after and during the video.
Tonight in News Extra, the man who committed what may be the crime of the century. His name is John Wayne Gacy, convicted of killing 33 innocent people and destroying hundreds of lives.
Can I just say, this was aired when this freak was captured. So this was like, I think, way before I was even born. People were watching this. It's kind of crazy. I actually am getting emotional. It's kind of crazy to think that there was a time period where serial killers were a legitimate thing. And there are certainly some cases here and there of recent times of people going around and killing people. I don't know what their reasons are. I don't know what their goals are. I mean, there was really no reasons or goals for why these people were doing either, but just a crazier, I feel like it was almost a crazier time. Like, we live in crazy times now, but man, I could only imagine what it was like just to, you know, Ted Bundy, the fucking Manson murders, Gacy, Ed Gein, Dahmer. I mean, literally, they were just coming out of the woodworks. I remember when I was alive, and I remember my mom watching the Green River Killer shit going on. Like, he was showing the police the bodies and where he hid them and everything. I remember when that guy was on the TV. That was alive, and I was born when that happened. I remember her watching them. Yeah, it was crazy. It literally, you can't get it out of your head. Really, I still remember those memories till today. So, like, John Wayne Gacy, holy shit.
He's never talked to anyone about the case until tonight. His murder spree was first discovered on a cold December day when the first of his victims were found in the crawl space beneath his home. They were taken out one by one as the world watched. For 13 years, Gacy refused to talk. But tonight,
oh, 13 years after,
walking out from death row in Menard State Prison to speak one-on-one with Channel 2's Walter Jacobson. Walter is here now to tell us what Gacy had to say in an exclusive interview. Walter.
Quite a bit. Well, I spent 2.5 hours with John Gacy listening to a whole new story about his case. He was rambling and often inconsistent, but always very cagey. 13 years ago, he told the police how he murdered his victims. Now he's telling me he never did.
With this guy, you can never tell.
People want to know the truth and the honesty of it. If they want to be convinced or brainwashed into what they believe, then fine, then go ahead and kill me. But vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, because you will have executed somebody that didn't commit the crime.
Those are the words of John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah, he was turning to God, supposedly. He was turning to God, supposedly, saying he found God and everything, and how he was innocent during his last days, in which case he wasn't innocent. He was just using that as an excuse to try to find redemption. I don't know what his personal reasons were for trying to talk like he found God. Even the Dahmer show, I know I mentioned that a lot, but even the Dahmer show kind of acknowledged that. He was like boasting about God and everything and whatnot. 1992, I was born 4 years later. Yeah, I was born 4 years later.
Gacy, pleading innocence from death row at Menard State Penitentiary 13 years after being convicted of his crimes. The most notorious serial killer of our time.
When they paint the image that I was this monster who picked up like these altar boys along the street and swatted them like flies, I said, this is ludicrous.
But the jury didn't find it ludicrous. After barely 2 hours deliberation, its verdict was murder by Gacy, 33 times, 29 bodies buried in that house of his on Summerdale, a crime of horrendous proportions. In the crawl space underneath, bodies covered with lime and encased in plastic, dug up a few days before Christmas and carried into the December cold, one after another after another. But despite all this evidence,
real footage of the actual
he
incident,
has proof he didn't do it. Here's one of dozens of examples of what he calls proof.
I've taken 3.5 hours of truth serum, and under sodium amytal, the maximum amount that I could have, it shows that I have no knowledge of the crime whatsoever. Never have had.
But this is where his attempt to change history, which is what he thinks will get him a new trial, begins to break down. There is no proof anywhere that he ever took truth serum. Now, it's not only a matter of physical evidence, it's a character issue as well. Many times during our interview, he tried to portray himself as a good guy, an ethical, hard-working family man. Here's how he describes himself as a father.
Loving and caring. I've always looked after my children, even now.
What kind of values do you remember imparting to them?
The kind of values?
Were you strict with them too?
No, not as strict as, no. A lot of things that my dad did, I refused to do, because I don't believe in hitting children. I don't believe in spoiling a child either. My values are such that if you give enough love to the children...
You're accused of murdering 33 kids, and you say you didn't believe in hitting. I mean...
Well, anybody that knows... You see, first of all, you're basing this garbage on what you've heard of me.
And what the...
See how defensive he got about it? Like, immediately he just went on the fucking went on attack mode and was just already acting vicious against him the second he even brought up the murders and shit. Oh, this guy's so full of shit. This guy was so full of shit. And there's a story. Actually, watching the Gacy tapes, it was very informative. There was a moment when Gacy went to his lawyer and got shit-faced drunk. And that night, he confessed all of the murders to his lawyer. And the next morning, when Gacy woke up on his couch, like in his office or his futon, whatever he had, he's like, "John, do you remember last night?" And he's like, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about?" "No, of course I don't." And he's like, "You confessed everything. You sat here and you talked hours with us confessing what you've done." And he walked out saying, "No, I don't got time for this. I have to be places. I have to go. I'm very busy." And he just walked out and drove off after confessing everything he did in detail to his lawyer. And, the lawyer couldn't obviously go against him and tell the police or anything because, that he's abided by the law to be his lawyer. So it was such a tricky situation. But, man, everybody was so happy. Even his lawyers were so happy when this guy got taken down. They were so happy and relieved. And I don't blame him. It's horrible. It's horrible. The guy was so full of shit. Even to the end. He was just a liar.
Jury said, and what the courts of appeal have said. And the prosecutor who put him in jail says Gacy is a ruthless and sadistic killing machine.
He's responsible. He knew exactly what he was doing. He planned it in advance. And he carried it out, and he enjoyed it.
And he admitted it. In fact, boasted of it to the police. But now, 14 years later, he's denying it and talking to me about it. What does Prosecutor Kunkel think of that?
He's a desperate man. He's going to die in 2 or 3 years. He's going to be executed when the law is finally carried out. And he'll clutch at any straw.
2.5 hours of clutching at straws,
Yep.
Cunning and manipulative denials. But if you listen carefully, you catch him slipping up. About John Bukovic, for instance, his second victim.
What happened to what happened in the Bukovic case? Where was he picked up, and how did he get to the house, and what happened with him?
I don't want to go into the other, the 5 that I know about. Just take it that I didn't. Bukovic is not one that I killed, so I don't know nothing about him. The little bit that I know about him is that he was an employee of mine. See, when you look up,
Oh God, fucking dude just tripped over himself right there. I don't know anything about that guy. The only thing I know about him is that he's an employee. So you did know him, you fucking idiot. You did know him. You just said you didn't know him. Oh God, I would have been calling him out on his bullshit right there. Like, are you fucking stupid? Do you think I look stupid to you?
about this recall business, and
I'm not a prosecutor, John, but you just
I know
said
you're not.
Bukovic
Wait a minute.
is not one that you killed, which suggests that maybe in fact there were others that you did kill. I mean, I'm not.
Okay, I'm sorry if I led you to believe. No, strike it then. That is wrong.
Oh God. Oh no. Oh, I said that. No. Trust me there. Grabs his hand, starts patting it. Trust me, I'm the fucking killer, man. I didn't kill nobody. But he was one of the ones that the fucking guy. I wanted to kind of smack him right there, man. Obviously he's gone now, but
it's too late to strike it. There are others he killed, children he lured into his home anyway who didn't get out alive. When he was arrested, he told the police what he did and how he did it, with a rope that he used as a tourniquet. Now he says he didn't do it and shows me his rope trick to explain how the police misunderstood. That and more of what he's twisting into his pleas of innocence tomorrow. Linda, Bill?
Fascinating, Walter. Look forward to tomorrow.
He might be one of the... Well, now he was just a fucking idiot. He's just a fucking idiot. He's evil. He's just pure evil. This man, this guy right here, man, is one of the most scariest fucking human beings I think I have ever heard about or listened to or ever just encountered while watching serial killer stuff. He genuinely terrifies me. He's so fucking... I can see why he really fooled a lot of people, just the way he talks, and I can see why people might even accept him to be... He might sound kind, when in reality he's not. I've said this story several times. The reason why John Wayne Gacy kind of scares me a little bit is because he reminds me of a story from back when I was a kid. When I was younger, my mom noticed that there was a guy who used to watch me and my brother walk to school. Our elementary school was across the street, so it wasn't far. We could walk there, she could watch us, and we would be safe. But she noticed this guy standing on his front porch or like looking through the windows and stuff, peeping at me and my brother. And she didn't like that. She didn't like it, so she got a hold of the local police. She was friends with the local police around there and asked, could you guys maybe do some research on this individual? He keeps looking at my kids and I just do not feel comfortable. And they did. And this guy was a convicted sex offender who had moved into the area. We were unaware of. I wasn't told that until about 2016. Like, it was later on when I was told about that whole situation. And it just gave me Gacy vibes. And I know I didn't, let's say, see the person or really know he was watching us. I still kind of feel like that later on after effect feel of literally kind of knowing that you were stalked. And I have also other creepy stories in my personal life too that kind of resemble this kind of guy. So it creeps me out. It genuinely creeps me out. Guys, please comment down below. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the content. I almost got emotional right there because that shit scares me. And I'll check you guys out in the next video. Keep it retro and take care. And please do support us on Patreon or become a member here on YouTube. It means a lot.